Hi everyone, this is Alex and welcome back to Alex Electronics and to part 5 of the Gottlieb Bronco Pinball Restoration Series. So I'm actually recording this video a little bit out of order compared to everything else because I was originally only planning on having 4 parts, but then I realized during editing that part 4 was going to be kind of long, so I decided to cut it into parts 4 and 5. And which meant that I needed to record an outro for part 4 and an intro for part 5. And I remembered to record the outro for part 4 back at that point when I was actually recording those videos, but I forgot to record the intro for part 5. So now I'm here after I've finished the entire project, every single part, like including part 5, and now I'm going back to record the intro for part 5. So this is a little out of order, and that's why I'm not showing the playfield down there, because I don't want to spoil what the final result is at the end of this video. But yeah, in this video, in part 5, we are going to be working on the playfield. You'll recall in the last video, or I'm actually not sure, did we, yeah, in the last video, yeah, we cleaned it. We stripped the playfield down and we cleaned it, but we have not done any other work to it yet. But so in this video, we are going to be painting the entire playfield to touch up all of the scratched, ugly, yucky paint that is on there. So get it looking all nice and shiny and new again. And then once everything's painted properly, we're gonna put a clear coat over it to protect all that paint. And then we are going to wax it to get to protect the clear coat basically, and to get the ball moving nice and smoothly over the surface, and to give it a nice shine. And then finally we will reassemble everything, put all of the components back onto the playfield, like all of our little posts and plastics and all that stuff. Then we'll install new rubbers onto everything, get everything put back together, and then play test it to make sure everything's working properly. And that should conclude the project. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into that sort of stuff. Okay, wow, I've got to say, this is actually really promising. So I just took out the red paint. This is the flag red. I guess I'm assuming that's actually the hex color code, and that's kind of cool. I'm assuming, unless it's just a product number, that's a little more boring, but looks like a hex color code. But put some of that on my paint palette here, which is just a balled up piece of paper. Cut me some slack. I wish I had something a little better, but I don't. And brushed it on here, and like that actually looks really good. Like that's a really close match. Like that's the original paint, that's my new paint. You can see I think I need to put on another coat because certain areas are like a little bit lighter, because I think the white is like shining through from the bottom. But like that's a really close match. That's a really close match. Like I think that might be good enough. Like I don't think you would notice. I honestly don't think you would notice. So our red might be covered. That's actually amazing. I'm in shock. I thought this was going to be so much harder. I mean, I guess I don't want to jinx it, because when it dries, it could change color, and it's also nighttime right now, so it could, in the daytime when it's brighter, it could look terrible. But this actually looks really, really, really promising. And as I said, most of the damage is red after all. Like, look at all this. All this damage is red. There's a little bit of like pink damage, but most of this damage is red. So if we can get the red good, even if we don't do the other colors, well, all this damage is red too. So if we can get the red, more red. If we can get the red good and somehow just fail to do the other colors, that's still the most optimal outcome in terms of succeeding in one color and failing in all the others. So, and black is guaranteed, because black is black. There aren't different shades of black really. So those pins will fix up all the black, like around here. So, wow, this is actually really promising. I'll keep going and report back when I have a little bit more to go off of. Okay, so I have applied coats of red to both of the pop bumpers. I haven't gone in and done all the little crevices, but I've applied it just to the main pop bumper area, because I want to let it dry for a while and take a look at it later on to make sure the color is matching as well as I think it is. So given that it's dark out, I might just save that until the morning and come back in the morning to just double check that color matching there. But I'm going to leave this alone and move on to the yellow. And I think we'll call it a night with the red and yellow. We'll worry about the green and the pink and blah, 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 all the other stuff tomorrow. But yeah, let's do the red and yellow now. So I've got some yellow up here. Let's put that on the brush and see how well it matches. Yeah, that doesn't look like a super great match. Let me get a little more of it just in case it's because like I'm putting on a really thin coat or something. But no, that doesn't really match that well, if we're being honest. That's a shame. I was hoping the yellow would be a pretty perfect match, but that looks pretty bad. I wonder if I could like blend it in so that you can't tell, kind of like this, where it's like more of a gradient instead of being like an instantaneous change from the normal yellow to our new yellow. Sorry, it's kind of hard to do this and hold the camera at the same time. That looks better, but I don't know. We might just let this one dry as well and come back in the morning and see how it looks. But this one honestly looks a little better in real life than it does on camera. But then again, that could just be because it's dark. I don't know. But yeah, the yellow, I'm not super happy with the yellow. But we'll come back once these are dry and take another look and make sure that the colors are what we actually think they are. Okay, so it's the next morning, and I think the two pop bumpers, looking at them in the daytime, I think they turned out looking pretty darn good. Yeah, especially when you're down there at the bottom end of the table where you're playing, you really can't tell. So I have decided to proceed with just the plain old red without any modifications. And so I have started doing I did the area around this pop bumper here. And then I've also done this little area right here at the top of the drop targets. And given that they're all looking pretty darn good, I'm gonna continue with the red, and I'll probably do this section up here next because it's pretty darn messed up. And after that, maybe I'll do this, and then that, and then maybe that. And then the only other, once I do all that, the only other like major red place that needs attention is the bonus ladder under there. But we'll get to that a little later on. And the good thing too is that if any of these areas end up looking bad, since it's acrylic paint, we can just wet a paper towel and wipe it right off if any of these end up looking worse after the touch up. So that's always nice. But yeah, let's get right into it and keep on painting the red. All right, so it is now the next day, and I have finished painting in all of the red and also all of the pink. And this took a lot longer than I had expected it to be honest. Just probably because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. But I finished the red and the pink now. The red, as I said, I did not have to mix anything, so that was nice and easy. But the pink did require some mixing, and boy, was that a freaking nightmare. That was not fun. That was not fun at all. But I did eventually manage to mix the pink, and the unpleasant part, though, was that there were a couple different pinks. I think it's just because like some of the Playfield was faded compared to other parts, but there were like a couple different shades of pink. Like this was a different shade of pink from this, and then this was also a different shade. So I had to make 3 different pinks, and these were more of like a peachy brown, and then this was more of like a hot pink. So yeah, it was, mixing those took freaking forever. But I finally got the pink and the red all painted in, and while I was waiting for those to dry, I also did a little bit of outlining with the black here. Like you can see, I outlined this pop bumper with black. You can see it's nice and defined compared to the other one here. And I also outlined these lights here with black, whereas these have not been outlined yet. And I also outlined this with black because these lines were like completely missing before. So I've done some work there. And yeah, that's pretty much what I've done so far. Next, I'm going to move into the yellow. And I did a little bit of experimentation with yellow last night, trying to get the color right. These were like the 3 samples that I painted down. And since it's acrylic, you can wash it off, so don't worry, I'll just wash all this off. Yeah, we have this yellow, these ended up being like exactly the same. And then this more orangey yellow. And the correct color seems to be somewhere in between those. So I'm gonna probably just take, assuming it's not dried up, I hope it's not dried up. Yeah, it's actually still gooey. I'll take that paint from last night, mix a little bit more yellow into it to take it from orange yellow back to more yellowy, and do another test spot and see if I can get the color even closer to correct. And yeah, then we'll do yellow next. There's not a whole lot of yellow that has to be done. It's basically just this here, the pop bumper, and then just some very minor touch-ups in other places, like a few little specks here, very few specks down here. The yellow is not that bad, but there are a few areas where it is very bad, and so that's why it needs to be done. Like if it weren't for this, I probably wouldn't even bother doing the yellow, but this is so messed up, and if I hadn't already done these test spots over it, it would look even more messed up. So yeah, yellow needs to be done. And then finally we have green, and once we do green, it's just black and then we'll be done. The green honestly isn't that bad. So if I'm not able to successfully mix green, I'm not gonna be too upset. Because as you can see, the green's in pretty dang good shape. There are a few little specks missing every now and then. This is probably the worst spot of the green right here. But remember, there is a post that screws in right here. So really, you're really just gonna be seeing it more like that, not like that. So yeah, and then these spots, obviously the green's pretty terrible up here, but once again, we have a post here and a post here. So it ends up looking better than you may think. And then the green down here looks pretty dang good for the most part. So yeah, green's not bad. But let's get the yellow done. Yellow should be pretty easy. And then green, I have no idea how tough it's gonna be to mix the green. And then black, obviously, black is just black. This is gonna be really freaking easy. But yeah, let's get going on the yellow. All right, time for another update. And boy, is this thing starting to look pretty dang good. I'm honestly pretty proud of how my painting skills have turned out on it. So since the last video, I have finished all the yellow. So the yellow doesn't look, it looks better in real life than it does on camera, I'll say that. But the yellow is the worst. The yellow is the worst by far out of all the colors. It's just, it was difficult to get it right. It looks pretty good here and here actually. Because what I did is I painted over it and then I scraped everything off the top so that all that was left was what was actually in the little gaps that needed to be filled. But up here, I did not do that. Up here, I just kind of layered it on, and it probably would have looked better if I had done that. I guess, I mean, I can't just wipe it off and try again, but I don't know if I want to do that or not. We'll see. And then under the pop bumper, it looks pretty bad under here too, but that shouldn't matter because that's going to be covered up anyway, so whatever. But it does look a little questionable under the pop bumper. But everything else looks pretty great. I've been doing some more touch-ups with the black, and boy, has that made a difference. I touched up all the numbers right here on the bonus ladder, and they look pretty incredible. They look really good. And I'm getting to work on the green right now. And once I do the green, we should be pretty much done. I'll come back to the yellow maybe to make it look a little better, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll do the green, then do the black on the areas that the green was touching, because, you know, I can only do the black after the colors have been laid down. And I've done the black on all the areas that don't involve green, but I have not done the black on the areas that do involve green. So I'll do the green, do the black on those areas, and then maybe come back to the yellow. And then it's just a matter of double checking everything to make sure everything looks good and that there aren't any like errant paint stains anywhere there shouldn't be. Like for instance, I got some green right there because I accidentally flipped the thing of green over. So I will need to clean that off. And there are probably a couple other stains in other places that I'm gonna need to clean off. But yeah, I'll just clean that stuff off, and then it'll be a matter of just clear coating it, and we will finally be done with the stupid painting section of things, and we can get back to actually reassembling it and hopefully playing it. Oh, and then we gotta wax it, but that shouldn't be child's play compared to this. But yeah, figured I'd just give another little update and get back to work on the green. Oh, by the way, this is the green that I came up with. That's the original green, that's the new green. It looks pretty dang good. It took a while to get the mixing right. Not as bad as the pink, but still took a little while. But I think it turned out pretty great. That looks a lot like the original green. And it looks even better in person, I would say. So I'll do the painting of the green, and then we will come back after that, I guess. So after a whole lot of work, I'm finally done with painting the playfield. Boy, did this take a lot of time, but it is done now. It is done now. You can see I've got all the green touched up, and I did all the black outlines as well. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So I'm gonna call it here basically, and we can go clear coat it at this point. But yeah, just looking around, give you a little tour of everything. The yellow's the only thing that I'm a little disappointed in. It looks better in real life than it does on camera. I will 100% say that. Like, it looks pretty embarrassing on camera, but in real life, it looks a good bit better than that. But it's still not great. But I'm gonna go with it because this looked horrendous before and it looks decent now. The green is a really good match. Also looks worse on camera than in real life, but the green is actually a very good match in person. You can see that's the green, green, all over the place. That worked out really well. You can see more of the green there and there. That turned out pretty great. Then the black, I just went around and outlined black everywhere that I needed to, everywhere where the black was missing or where I painted over it. So we got some of that around the same player shoots again light, around all the lights actually. I did black just, you know, to outline the light a little bit better. And I also touched up, I put black around each of these rollovers. And I also touched up all the lettering that was messed up with some black. And that made a huge difference for the bonus ladder here, because a lot of the numbers here were just almost completely gone because of how much paint had been stripped away. And now they look really great again. Same for bonus multiplier, touched that up a lot. Yeah, touched a bunch of stuff up, and it looks, I'm actually really proud of how this turned out. I'm not an artist, and so I was pretty scared that it was gonna turn out poorly, but this actually turned out pretty great. So yeah, I'm pleased with this. It took me about 2.5 days of like straight all day long work. So that was not fun, but it definitely turned out pretty dang good. So at this point, I think it's time to do our clear coat. So I'm just gonna take this outside, just lift up the playfield and take the playfield outside and do a clear coat over the entire thing. So just spray over it once with clear coat, and maybe do 2 coats actually. And that stuff dries pretty quick, so we should have it back inside within a couple hours. And at that point, the paint should all be sealed in, and we can start doing the waxing. And then once the waxing is done, we can start to actually put things back onto the playfield. And at that point, it's just a matter of play testing it and leveling the darn thing, because still the ball will go over to this side and get stuck over there. So yeah, let's get to clear coating it, and I will come back once that process is finished. Okay, so I did the clear coat, and the table is, the playfield is back in here inside the pinball machine itself. And I think it turned out pretty great. I was pretty nervous about doing the clear coat because I was afraid of like something going wrong and ruining all my paint work, but it looks pretty good. It seems to have sealed everything in. Like when I run my hand across the surface, I can feel a coating on top of my paint. There's clearly something there. And you can definitely see that it was applied in certain places as well, such as here on the bonus multiplier, where there's a little piece, since I painted it outside, there's a little piece of like stick from a tree trapped inside at the bottom of the U there. I made sure to clean this thing like really, really, really well before clear coating it to try and get as much of that sort of stuff off as possible so that nothing gets trapped underneath. But obviously once you're outside, you're kind of at the mercy of nature, unfortunately, and something did get in, but that's the only flaw I've been able to find so far. So that's good. And yeah, it seems to have sealed things in really well. You can feel the clear coat on top of everything. And now that the clear coat is on here successfully, now it's just a matter of waxing the thing and then putting everything back onto the playfield. And speaking of the components that we're putting back onto the playfield, I have gone through and cleaned all of them very thoroughly. And also in the cases of the metal components, anything that had rust on it, I have removed the rust to the best of my abilities. So yeah, things should look a whole lot better once we go to put them back on. One thing to note, all of our little plastic posts that will be going around the playfield, and all of our little rollover guides that like go in between the plastic posts, like here, here, and here, and here, they are still going to be the original ones, you know, from the original machine. So they're not going to look super, super, super great or anything. And I've cleaned them up to the best of my abilities, but they're still a little yellowed and ugly. But I'm going to be ordering new ones and putting those on when they come in the mail. But for now, just as a holdover until those come, we'll be putting the old ones back on. And they'll work fine, they just won't look quite as good. But yeah, let's get to waxing this thing. And then we can move on to putting the playfield back together. And so for waxing, I'm just going to be using the wax that Ronnie over at Joe's Classic Video Games recommends. It's this stuff. It's Meguiar's, I guess that's how you say it. I don't know how you say that. Deep Crystal Carnauba wax. It's the stuff that's meant for cars. And yeah, you just, from what I've seen in his videos, all you do is you just take your playfield, you go, just squirt it all over the place. And then you put a pretty generous coating of it on there. And then you just take a cloth or something and just scrub it all in, get it all deep into all the little cracks and crevices on the playfield. And then you wait a few minutes for it to presumably dry, I guess. And then you go back through and wipe it again to, I guess, wipe off the excess. That's what I see. I'm probably going to want to watch the videos where he does that once or twice more, just to make sure I'm getting all that properly. But that's the gist of it. So I will go ahead and wax it, and yeah, we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so I have now finished the waxing and the buffing after I put the wax on and let it dry for a little while, and boy, did it make a difference. You can't really tell on the camera, but it looks a lot shinier now in real life, as I was kind of hoping. Yeah, like when you look at, yeah, actually you can kind of tell on camera. See that shine right there? See that shine? That was certainly not there before. But yeah, it's got a very nice shine to it now. And also, if you just like run your finger over it, you can feel that it's just so much smoother and slipperier than before. So that ball is going to be going all over the place now. So that's going to be really awesome. But yeah, now that it has been waxed, it's time to put everything back together. We can finally play this thing. So I'm going to replace all the bulbs because, yeah, if we power it up, yeah, well, I guess we'd have to start the game to find out for sure. Yeah, we got a lot of dead bulbs. So I'm going to replace our bulbs, and then I'm going to put the entire playfield back together. Actually, first, before we do that, let's just make sure all of our switches still work, because there's a chance that during the cleaning and all that, some of the switches could have got messed up. So let's just double check that. Those are all good. Let's try these A, B, and C. Okay, for some reason it thought the ball went in here, but it didn't. That was odd. Well, let's see if these work. Yeah. Not sure what that was about. Then this. Yep. Yep. This. Good. These. good. Okay, and then we got this. That doesn't work. What about this one? That works. Okay, good. So it's just this one. This one doesn't work for some reason. This should give 10 points, I believe. And then let's try the drop targets. Forgot, we still need to fix the fact they don't drop down all the way. Okay, so everything works. Oh, and then we got special lit up as we would expect. That's nice. Okay, so yeah, we need to fix the drop targets still because they're not dropping all the way. And then we need to reassemble the playfield, and we need to figure out why this switch isn't working. But yeah, let's put the whole playfield back together, and then we'll figure out those little issues. Okay, so I figured let's go ahead and fix the drop targets before we do anything else, just so we can have those up and running, ready to go. So here they are. Here's the drop target assembly. I've kind of got it disassembled a little bit already. I've got it removed from the playfield here, as you can see. And then I've also taken this, this big plate off of the bottom here. This goes up underneath right here. So this kind of exposed the bottoms of all the targets. And this just has some switches on it that detect the position of the targets, whether they're up or down or whether they're like moving. But now that's off, we have better access to the drop targets. And in order to try and get them to move a little better, I'm just gonna pour some rubbing alcohol into, really what would be most optimal here is if I had some like machine oil or some kind of oil like that I could put into all these little joints here to oil things up, lubricate everything. But I don't have any of that, so cleaning out the old gunk with isopropyl alcohol is the best I can do. So I'm going to just dump some alcohol into each of those little rotating points, and hopefully that will clear things up enough that it'll start rotating properly again, and the targets will drop all the way instead of getting stuck. That worked properly for the credit unit in the back box when it was having trouble moving, so hopefully it'll work here too. So we'll find out. But I've also, as you can see, removed this plate here. It's normally screwed up onto here. And that's because I need to remove each of the drop targets as well, because we have new replacement drop targets right over here. We've got 3 shiny new replacement ones. And so I need to remove the old ones so we can put the replacements in. And in order to do that, I think I can just slide that plate off and then just barely have enough room, to slip this out the bottom. And then I think I can just, now it's free to slide out the top like that. And that's how we remove the drop targets, I guess. And now we can put in our shiny brand new ones and go from there. This one's not particularly damaged, but a couple of the others are, so I'm just gonna replace them all. It's best that way. And I got some wax on it, so might as well replace them. But yeah, I'll do that. I'll lubricate the thing with well, not lubricate it, but clean it with alcohol, replace the drop targets, and then report back, and we'll see how it works at that point. Okay, so I've got the new drop targets installed in here, and check out how smooth this action is now. It's pretty amazing. So if I raise up all the drop targets, you can see them raised here. Well, one of them already dropped because I accidentally banged it. This is so hard to do on camera. I was gonna show you how easily they drop. Well, I can do 2 of them. Watch. They drop really well compared to before. Before they were all sticky and they go down slow, but now they make that really nice click sound and they go down nice and fast. So it looks like they're working pretty darn well now. I'm gonna go ahead and bolt this unit back on, and then we can move on to putting the rest of the playfield back together, and then we can play test the thing and see how it plays now. All right, so here we are. As you can see, I have the whole thing put back together. I have reassembled the entire playfield, and I even decided, hey, let's go ahead and put the glass back on it too, because let's just see if this thing works in like fully reassembled condition. Might as well, right? And I also discovered that there are 2 lamps behind the 2 coin slots, and I didn't know that before. So when I was putting it back together, I just happened to see 2 little lamp sockets back here, and both the lamps were burned out, so I put new bulbs in both of them, and now that looks pretty dang cool because we have 2 illuminated coin slots. Not they do anything because we don't put coins in. We just hit the little switch back there to put credits in, but whatever. It looks cool. But yeah, I guess let's turn it on. Well, it's on, but let's start a game and see how things play on our new fully reassembled Playfield. This should be really nice. I mean, it looks so good now. It looks so good. So let's fire it up and let's see what happens. Wow, that looks good. Oh, and yeah, all right, we still have trouble kicking the ball out. I think it's just the mechanism, the kicker mechanism is just like really sloppy. If you look at it down here, like it just wiggles a lot. I think maybe like some of the screw holes are just unhappy or something and it just needs replacement. I don't know. But it eventually manages to kick the ball out, so that's fine. Same as before. But yeah, wow, this thing just looks so good now. Like the whole playfield looks pretty much brand new and all the plastics look pretty great. Well, other than these. Yeah, those look a little funny because they're supposed to be white, but they're yellow. They look a lot better after I cleaned them, but they still are not white the way they're supposed to be. The red ones actually turned out pretty darn good though, but the white ones not so much. And the posts actually don't look too bad either. But whatever. I think it looks pretty great on the whole. With all the bulbs working now, it looks pretty incredible. But oh wow, and the flippers are so much quieter with the glass on. So much quieter. But yeah, let's play a little game. I only have one hand here since I'm holding the camera with the other. So I'm probably gonna lose a lot of balls just going back and forth to both flippers with one hand. So please excuse that if I play really poorly. But yeah, let's play a game. Let's play a game here. See how it works. See how fast. Wow. Wow. Oh, that's cool. Oh my God. Look at how fast that ball moves and how smoothly it moves. That's incredible. That's incredible. Wow. Oh, nope. I wasn't able to reach the other flipper in time. Darn. Well, 6,050 points. That's not too bad. Ball number 2. And those drop targets, they look great now. And it looks like they're dropping great now, too. None of them have gotten stuck. Oh my God! We almost got double bonus. We almost got the C rollover. Ah, we lost it. Oh, okay. Well, looks like the ball still gets stuck on the A light, just like it did before we did our restoration. I'm not sure there's a whole lot we can do about that though, because the little insert, the little lens insert that goes on top of the lamp itself, it's just kind of like sunken into the playfield a little bit. And I tried pushing all the sunken ones up, but I couldn't really find a way to get them to go up. So like, I think it's kind of just stuck like that. So let me see if I can just like gently bang on the machine without tilting it. Just like, boop. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't think that's too bad. I don't think that's too bad. I guess I could put some kind of like filler over it to like fill the gap, but I don't think it's worth doing all that. So might as well just leave it the way it is. Ball number 3. Let's see how this goes. Once again, I'm just playing with one hand, so cut me some slack here. Oh, didn't quite get my hand over there in time. I thought I was gonna bounce onto that flipper. Ball 4. Oh. Dang. Ball 5. Oh, and we got double bonus multiplier, so that's the last ball. Darn it. Okay, whatever. And there we are, 27,190, and the 80s lit up, so we did not win a free game with the match unit, but whatever. Wow. This is really cool. It is working so well now, and it looks so nice. That ball moves so smoothly. This is absolutely awesome. Like, wow. It's incredible. But yeah, I guess there's not a whole lot else left to do, because it's working now, and it's working pretty great now. So I guess we'll just leave things here. Yeah, this will be the end of the series, I suppose. But yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed our little pinball repair adventure here. I've personally had a whole lot of fun doing this. My first time ever messing with a pinball machine, and this was an absolute blast, and it turned out way better than I could have ever imagined. And now I've got a really fun pinball machine that I can sit here playing for hours, because boy, is this thing fun, especially once I get better at it. I'm sure it'll start to get even more fun. But yeah, this thing's freaking awesome. And yeah, this whole process of repairing it was a whole lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed watching the entire process from start to finish. Let me know if you want more of this, because I enjoyed this enough that I'm interested in potentially getting another pinball machine at some point in the future and maybe doing this again. Maybe a solid state one next time, but honestly, the electromechanical ones I think are pretty cool. So probably another electromechanical one, maybe a solid state, I don't know. But yeah, I'm interested in doing this again in the future, so let me know if you guys would like to see that. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the series. Let me know if you got any comments about it. Leave a comment down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Dislike it if you didn't, obviously. And remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next series, whatever that may be, or next individual video, whatever that may be.